Good morning, Miss. We are from Group 2. My name is Sri Rajeshwari and my fellow friends Durka and Laila. Today we are going to present about our research article. The main title of our articles is Impact of Social Media Era Towards Student State and Behavior. Now I'm going to explain the first article. The first article title is the effect of e-learning towards students' learning interests at pandemic COVID-19 era in rural area. Problem I identify from this article is rise in concern about the mental health consequence of too much time spent on social media. This article explains the problem student faces of using social media too much time, and this can make their mental health problems arise. The objective of this research is to explore the effect of e-learning towards students' learning interest COVID-19 era. Rational and significance of Article 1. Technology has played as a main factor during the pandemic since the class started to online. In COVID-19, most of the students are studies in online. So social media plays the main role in the studies when COVID-19 pandemic. The implementation is the result of the questionnaire will be calculated in data analytics to see whether there is any effect between e-learning towards students' learning interest. Conclusion is students' learning interests are more valuable because they are aware that it was important in learning achievement. As we can see in COVID-19, most of us are staying in house. So social media is the one of the key that students can learn even though they are stay at home. Recommendation I give is they can improve in problem arose from the preliminary research. Now I'm going to explain about the second article. Second article title is Impact of Social Media on Students on Positive and Negative. The author is Ashmita V. Kodab from the Master Computer Application Bharati Vidyadas Management Kuala Lumpur, Maharashtra, India. Firstly, I will explain the problem. Problem I identify is social media as the way for transmission of knowledge among students. As we know, social media help university students to search information even though the information we cannot get in library, we can search in social media. The objective of this article is aimed to research is cover impact of social media on students in its positive and negative approach. Rational and significance. The researcher determines significant level before conducting the experiment. Implementation. Users access social media service via web-based knowledge. Conclusion of Article 2 is most of the students are using social media for study. Various factors also finding on the social media like extra note. Example like as I say, even though lecturer not explain well, we can search social media to learn more notes, and we can also learn by seeing the YouTube and more social media apps. Recommendation is impact of social media on students are more effectively in their academic years. It can accept or reject the null hypothesis based on the option. It can like students can choose whether they want to use the social media or the lecturer's notes they want to use. Thirdly, now I am going to explain about the third article. Third article title is The Impact of Social Media Used Toward the Psychological Well-Being of University Students. The author of this article is Prabha Kiran from International University, Rumki, Banyodik, KK University. The problem identified from this article is social media marketing has grown sustainably in recent years. As we know, after COVID-19 comes, people morely interact with social media rather than face to face. The objective of article is to identify factors that impact the use of social media marketing and thereby influence the psychological. Rational and significance of this article is previous research has utilized social capital theory to examine how frequently using social media influencer. As we know, nowadays people are using TikTok to influence our mentality, and some of TikTok influencers use the motivational quote to encourage us. We can see this as encouragement and positive towards students. Implementation is Reactionary interest in taking and a harmful effect of social media marketing use on mental health. Even though it's give a positive impact on students, somehow it's give a negative impact also, because some of the students didn't know social media will affect their mental health. They will use the social media in a negative way, so this can impact their studies also. Conclusion of this article is social media marketing use has a favorable indirect effect on mental health, most likely as a result of benefit gain. As we all know, students are only spending time in social media like Google Meet and Zoom. Some of them use the YouTube to learn the notes. So they didn't know what time to use the social media correct time. So if they use the social media more time, it can make their mental health problem. And some of students will face the anxiety, depression because of using social media more time. The recommendation for this article is it is generally agreed that students provide the best sample for research into e-commerce and social media marketing. So without from seeing the bad side, we can see like a positive side, like they can use the social media like e-commerce like a shopping platform like Shopee, Lazada. So students can learn how to sell their products and being the mini businessman from now, rather than using social media in a bad way. That's all from me. Now my fellow friend Durka will explain for article 4, 5 and 6.
Thank you, Sari. Now about the article 4, which is impact of social media websites overuse on mental well-being of medical students. The main respondents of this article are medical students from uh, Akhtar Said Medical and Dental College. The problem identified here is overusage of social media becoming an addictive behavior in medical students, which is compromising their mental health. Then the objective of this article is to find the relation of social media overuse on mental well-being of medical students. The rationale and significance is the time spent on different social media websites. The psychological distress was noted. The different social media is like Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook. They notice the time the medical students spend on social media, and also the psychological distress was noted by the author, which is Usmar and Zuhaira from Department of Surgery. The implementation was quantitative methodology, which is the questionnaire. If they undergo the article by questionnaires, it is classified as quantitative methodology. There was 230 questionnaires were distributed among the students, which were included part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is about the time they spend in the social media, and part 2 about the psychological distress questionnaires. Then the conclusion is strong correlation of the time spent on social media with the mental well-being of medical students. The author was find out that there is a strong correlation of time spent on social media by the medical students, which is causing the distress for the psychological mental health. And the recommendation is for future research, the questions on survey could be ways can let them spending less time on social media, so they can come up with ways to create awareness for the MBBS students to focus on the particular way. Next, I move to Article 5, which is social media use and sexual behavior of undergraduate students in Nigerian university. The respondents of this article are Nigerian university students, and the problem identified here is sexual behavior developed into a student life addicted using the social media for watching pornography or inappropriate pictures in the social media. Then the objective is to investigate the role of social media on sexual behavior among 195 undergraduate students. The rationale and significance of this article is this study aims for sex education to be held in university to help expose undergraduate students into the dangers involved in spending excessive time on social media. So they mainly focus on the future plan to avoid dangers, include the Nigerian university students. The implementation was the data used for this study was primarily obtained through the use of questionnaire also, like have done in Article 4. And the questionnaire is classified as quantitative approach also. There was section A, B, and C. Section A is about the social media they use. Section B is uh, about the pictures, videos they were going through, and section C about the time they spend on the social media. Then the conclusion is use of social media significantly associated with risky sexual behavior among undergraduate students. Recommendation is for future research can do interview with staffs around the campus and talk openly and ask them about the students' behavior so they can also come up with ideas like do programs and do whatever ways that can avoid students to in, in to include in this kind of problems. Then about Article 6, which is behavior of students on social media sites, the Ghanaian context. Firstly, the respondents of these articles are university students from Ghana. The problem identified here is acceptable and unacceptable behavior students engaged in on social media sites. Acceptable behavior is we can accept, like we watch the normal videos, normal TikTok videos, Instagram videos, which is useful for us. But unacceptable behavior is spreading explicit sexual messages to others and spreading fake news to others also. The objective is to find out what students classify as acceptable and unacceptable behavior exhibited on social media sites. The rationale and significance is to focus on kind of activities students engaged in on social media sites lead to the exhibition of certain behavior, whether knowingly or unknowingly. The implementation was survey methodology or quantitative methodology was used in this study, which is they undergo 6, 7, 9 of questionnaires for the sociology students. And this questionnaires was undergo to the final year students in Ghana University. The conclusion was some students indulged in unacceptable acts without knowing. Technology has the power to influence people's action also. My recommendation was, therefore, for future research, the respondents could be with first-year students because they are new and we can aware them by noticing the unacceptable behaviors from the beginning of starting their studies. And that's all from me. Next, I pass to Bella for the article 7, 8, and 9. Thank you.
Thank you to my lovely friends, Durga. So next, I will explain about Article 7, which is the title is The Impact of Personality Traits on Social Media Use and Engagement and Overview. And this one was published by Georges Lampropoulos, Theophylakitis, and Kirsty Sakis and Erika Sakis. So this one is about, first of all, the problem addressed about this problem is about ICT, the information and communication technologies. that has transformed the world in information-driven society. As we can see, ICT is one of the most significant in our daily lives, as we need to use the social media, especially for students, for their studies, for their research, and so on. So we can see that this one has an effect towards their personal traits and also their conscientiousness, the agreeableness, and neuroticism, which is also considered important, but at a lesser degree. So consequently, as we can see for this study, they conclude the personality traits have an immense impact on social media use and engagement. So that was the problem addressed in this article. So next one is the aims and objective. The aims of this study is enhancing this understanding of the role that personality traits play in psychological dynamics. Okay, which is they want to see the students' personality traits and their psychological in this using the social media and the ICTs. So that was the aims and objectives of this study. Next one is the rationale and significance. As we can see now, we need to use, especially the students need to use the social media and the social media platforms like Facebook, TikTok, and so on to do their research, their study, and their assignments, so on. And they use it every day in their life. And that also impact their personality traits, which is they can feel lonely and isolated when they use their social media almost every day, almost every time to finish their assignments, especially for the online students. And that's why that can impact their mind, their physical health, and their mental health. Okay, next one is the implementation details, which is the research method for this study. They have, in the modern society, they have already overcome distance and time barriers, which is because the students need to interact and carry on with the social media in everyday life. In their everyday lives, okay, they had changed. Okay, they had changed their distance with their family, their friends, and also they have the time barriers with their friends and so on. Okay, and this also affected their characteristics. Besides their personality traits, they also social media also influenced their characteristics because they had influenced by the same environments, and also they also can undergo the same experiences because of using the social media. So, like an example, we can see if someone using the online dating, okay, some of the students feel very lonely due to heavy of the homework and so on. So they are using the online dating. They know each other in the online dating, and then they fall in love, and then they break up. So sometimes when they share their experience to their other students, to their other friends, their friends also share the same experience and say that they had undergo the same experience and also the same environments because they are using the online dating apps. Okay, so the conclusions for the study is that they try to understand how each individual's personality traits and characteristics influenced by using social media. Okay, by using the social media, how their personality traits and their characteristics change, whether it is good to the good characteristic, to the good impact, or to the bad impact. Okay, next one is Article 8. Okay, so Article 8, the title is that the impact of social media on learning behavior for sustainable education, evidence of students from selected universities in Pakistan. So this one was published by Jafar Abbas, Jafar Aman, Hamid Nurul Nabi, and Shahir Banu. So what is the problem addressed for this study? Okay, this study examines how social media and web-based interactions impact students, communities in their daily lives. Okay, which is they need to use the technology. As we can see, we are using the technology, the computer, the laptop, the handphone, and so on, to facilitating the growth and sharing of their ideas, awareness, current interests, information, and other methods of the expressions through the social communities. Through the social networks, which is social media, the Instagram, the Facebook, and so on, and also the virtual communities. They can talk with each other, with other people in the virtual communities, such as Zoom. They can use the Google Meet, and so on. So this one is constructive and adverse, the factors, the impact of the student's mind in a positive or negative aspects with others. So next one is the aims of this study. The aims of this study is to see, okay, to present the enormous benefits for as well as risks to the university students and the implications, the social media implications towards the students' psychological adjustment. Okay, next one is the rationale and significance of this study. As we can see, we need to, most of the students needs the social media. Like every of the students needs the social media. So it's actually a sustainable education, which is becoming the essential and impelling factor towards the world. And these original studies also focalized investigation are revealing the relationship between the positive and negative characteristics. Okay, positive and how they're handling the positive and negative characteristics of social media. Okay, on the social media to learning the attitude of university students. Okay, next one is the research method, the implementation. Okay, this study also typically impact the students' learning behavior. As you can see, they try to develop comprehensive understanding towards the students, okay, and how the students can gain their understandings in their study within the quality journals and books. They can study using the internet, so they can read from the laptop, they can read from the tablet, and so on. And we can see also this also examines about the postulations, okay, the meeting procedures, and also how they try to find the supplementary information from internet. Okay, the last one is conclusion. No, the last but not least, okay, the conclusion. Okay, essentially, all of these studies, it goes to the results that may not be generalized to the entire student community to findings their specific, their behavior. So as we can see, Pakistan also has a negative, when their students use a lot of social media, we can see that it has the negative influence and impact towards the students' behavior. Okay, so next one is Article 9, Understanding Students' Behavior in Online Social Networks is Systematic Literature Review. So this one is about the online social networking problem identified, OSN, sites among individuals. And then the objective is that to explicate to what the extent students behave on OSN platforms, which is how they behave using the online social media. And then rationale, the significance of this study is that they want to investigate the students' behavior on these sites using the online social networking sites, and also to see the current review in providing the understanding of student behavior using the OSN. Next one, the implementation, which is they apply the longitudinal research method for the opportunities to explore the students' attitude and also the behavior patterns when they are using the OSN. And conclusion, adolescents and young adults are the one that using the OSN as their daily habit and their routine for everything, for the study, for the games, and so on. And the last one, the recommendation is that need more empirical examination for adolescents and also adults and kids and everyone. Yeah, and that's all from me, the article explanations. Thank you. Next one, I will pass to my fellow friends to explain.
Sorry for the convenience. The similarities of this article is firstly major effect of using social media on mental health is impact student studies. Overall, the 9 articles also explain how the social media impact their studies, the bad sides and the negative sides. Secondly, social media is lead to addiction and improve anxiety among students. As the 9 articles also saying that social media usage are more time affect their anxiety level and depression and some more health that affects students' mental. Third one is students saw social media as a computer facilitated technology that helps the shares information. Some of the articles are similarities like they explain how students use the social media to improve their knowledge wise, studies wise, and they also use social media in computer to learn the more notes in their studies. Fourth one is focus on students' behavior towards studies by social media. Some of the articles are similar as they explain how they help students to use the social media like Google Meet, Zoom to explore more in internet to learn more notes that lecturer enable to interact with when they are at home. Like COVID-19 students are at home, so lecturers and teachers cannot view what the students do in their house. So buying teaching them how to explore the social media help students to learn even though there's no one to teach them. The fifth one is students use gadget to communicate with each other. As a COVID-19 pandemic section, students need to stay at home. No one can go out to school to learning. So they get to learn, use the laptop tabs to using online classes to learn. So this make students is like use the gadget in their daily life. The sixth one is the engagement of students from social media can improve their attitude behavior students from social media as a learning tool. As we can see in Malaysia is we now only we explore to social media. In US, UK, the students are more wisely already their daily life they use ready gadget technology. In Malaysia now only we get to learn the social media gadgets because after COVID-19 pandemic. I think it's make our future more technological because we can use this as on our future generations. Now my fellow friend will explain the difference of the articles. Thank you.
Thank you, Sari. Now about the differences. Firstly, it's conducted from different university students. Example, Nigeria students, Pakistan university students, and India. As Bella has explained the Article 8, you can see the students, the respondents for the article from Pakistan. And for mine, Article 4, Nigerian university students take part in the university respondents. Then the secondly, social media platform using method also different from one another. For example, they use WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook as a different social media platform. So it is classified as the difference also. Then thirdly, some seeing social media as positive for student studies, while some seeing negative as the social media giving the negative impacts for them. For example, Sari has explained the COVID-19 impacts given to the students as a positive way. And also for the negative way is they use the social media for watching the pornography. So it is classified as a difference also. Next, I pass to Bella to explain about the conclusion.
Okay, thank you, my friends Durga. So the last one is the conclusion. Okay, so it is important to use social media in a good way, besides of the negative impacts and also a lot of bad vibes and so on. We can learn to how to implement positive impacts in their studies and also business and working environment. As social media is um, one of the facility for everyone to use for the studies, business, and working environment. and for their daily lives in a good way. So that's how from is. Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss, for watching our presentation. That's all from us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss.